The noise that you hear at the moment is the sound of the air raid siren. A searchlight just burst into action off in the distance. One single beam sweeping the sky above me now. People are walking along quite quietly. We're just at the entrance of an air raid shelter here, and I must move this cable over just a bit so people can walk in.
When you hear the sirens or anti-aircraft guns, you must get under cover at once. You must not stand staring up at the sky. That's the most dangerous thing to do. Take cover at once, but there's no need to rush. If you take things quietly, you will prevent panic in others. If you're in the open with no cover, lie down, preferably in a ditch. If you're within 5 minutes of your home, go home, but keep away from the windows. If you're in a car, get off the main road to leave it clear for the defense services. For the same reason, park as near to the curb as possible. And if you're motoring at night, never forget to carry your gas mask. Always remember to see that your blackout is as black as soot. But the most important rule of all is never to stand staring at the sky. If you don't take cover, you may get hurt.
Here is the world's news in pictures, and this is Pathe Gazette screening it. Peace and war blend incongruously in this rural setting in England, now an aerodrome, where air crews of 2 Boston squadrons leave their rustic quarters to man their waiting aircraft ranged along the boundary of a landing ground, once the good green acres of this England. Great billowing clouds form a backcloth to a scene so out of place in a country setting, yet so completely in harmony with this country at war. Across the smooth runway roll the Bostons, while their motors seem to roar a challenge to the Hun planted insecurely on the soil of Western Europe. Each hour in every 24 is filled with the threat of terror from the skies. Rushing like meteors low over houses and hedges, the avenging bombers set course for their objective. And the target is the harbour of St. Malo on the Brittany coast. Now, with the shores of England behind them, the Bostons gain height to about 8,000 feet, flying smoothly over the sun-flecked water of the English Channel. Spread out below them, the now Nazi submarine base, St. Malo. Bomb doors are open as the target comes full into sight. Bombs leave one of the Bostons, wobbling slightly before gaining momentum, and then hurtling downwards, straddling the docks and harbour installations. Many times a day to our pilots does our coastline recede into the distance. Wave-top skimming is a favored form of approach on the enemy. We travel out over the channel again, this time rushing at high speed towards the battlefields of Flanders. One more rapier thrust in the ceaseless and intensive RAF offensive, which carries us over the coast to the towns and fields which saw the fighting retreat towards Dunkirk. Today, over starved and pillaged France, wings of vengeance are sweeping over the rooftops. The Hun trembles as the Allied aerial armadas rule the skies. Over the Flanders plains they fly, on a low-level bombing raid on a chemical works near Lille. The plane ahead has already set it alight with incendiaries. Another Nazi-controlled factory has gone west.
Britain gets another foretaste of aerial attack. This time Nazi bombs are dropped on a northeast coast town. But fortunately, again, there are very few casualties. 8 civilians are wounded, the first bomb casualties in England. There's quite a big crater, hundreds of broken windows and a good deal of damage. One little girl slept right through the raid and woke up afterwards to find her bed littered with pieces of a bomb. Here she is. Soon British fighters roared up to meet the raiders and the Germans bolted. They always do.
History's greatest drama is being performed in the London theatre of war. Anti-aircraft crews are setting the stage for a repeat performance. The theme is the struggle against the forces of evil, opening as the symphony of gunfire crashes into its overture. Like a scene from Dante's Inferno, the first act tells of destruction wrought by a devilish foe, which tries also to destroy the soul and wreck the morale of a nation by savage barbarism. A quest foredoomed to failure because they're ignorant of the spirit of the chief characters in the drama, the British people. So in their blind fury, they bomb churches, hospitals, and the homes and property of civilians. Meanwhile, London carries on with unshakable mien. Windows may be broken, but the spirit remains intact. Yes, wide open. Now comes the twist from drama to light relief. Londoners were kept on their toes all night, so in the morning they cuss the devil and all his works and walk.
Last Thursday night. My sister was changing acts with the lady next door, and they saw some planes flying high in the sky, and she said, they're flying high, and the lady said to her, yes they are, but they're all right. Next minute she said, look, something's dropping from them. Next minute we heard the two big bangs. My auntie had just left the house with her 3 children, was standing out in the street. I died under the shelter, but before I could get to the shelter, 2 bombs had already dropped and blew me to most of the shelter. My auntie screamed, and she said that our front door was blown down, or rather the windows was blown out. And she screamed for help because she had 3 children. My sister, who went upstairs for my brother, Tony, the bed was rocking, and when she come down, the blast of it, the bombs was dropping very bad. They used a large number of whistling bombs. The girl next door, who was working in Morrison, had come home. Her sister had been blown and the girder had broke her back, and she was covered with the blood of her sister. It was very sad.